obviously we cannot not talk about Russell Brand and what he did to John Heilemann on
It was
Bill
so
Maher.
beautiful. And
This
say
is-
what you want about Russell. And anyway, this is great.
So we're going to put this on. I hope you guys enjoy it because it is just too damn good not to hear it again. And obviously we'll comment on it. So here we go.
John, I've not known you long, but I love you already. But I have to say that it's disingenuous to claim that the biases that are exhibited on Fox News are any different from the biases exhibited on MSNBC. It's difficult to suggest that these corporations operate as anything other than mouthpieces for their affiliate owners in BlackRock and Vanguard. And unless we start to embrace, and then also, mate, like just spiritually, if I may use that word in your great country, we have to take responsibility for our own perspective. I've been on that MSNBC, mate. It was propagandist nutcrackery on there. I went on a show called Morning Joe. It was absurd the way they carried on.
Good Morning Joe.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It wasn't morning. There was no one called Joe there. No one could concentrate. They didn't understand the basic tenets of journalism. No one was willing to stick up for genuine American heroes like Edward Snowden. No one was willing to talk about Julian Assange and what he's suffered trying to bring real journalism to the American people. And I think to sit within the castle of MSNBC throwing rocks at Fox News is ludicrous. Make MSNBC better. Make MSNBC great again.
My friend, the moment
fight them on a territory you can win on, Joe.
Russell, darling, the moment that you give me a specific example, an actual example.
Okay, I'll give you one.
Just wait.
Wait. I thought you needed a specific example.
Let me tell you what the specific I'd like to hear of. I'd like to hear a specific example, a provable specific example of an MSNBC correspondent or anchor being on television, saying something they knew was false, and we're saying behind the scenes to people, I'm about to go out, and we know that the election wasn't stolen or something equivalent.
Example.
But I will go out on television and say the opposite. I will lie.
When's my answer?
Just give me the specific example.
I understand the basic point.
Give me a specific example.
All right.
I'm with you. I think it's a false equivalency, Russell.
It's not. That's your own bias.
It's not about bias. It's a false equivalency because you don't actually know anything about any of these organizations you're talking about. Even on MSNBC ones. Big fucking deal.
My darling, it was more than enough.
You can't come up with such a carry. You have a single actual fact.
Do you want an example?
Yes.
The ludicrous, outrageous criticisms of Joe Rogan around ivermectin, deliberately referring to it as a horse medicine when they know it's an effective medicine.
Yeah, that's not a bad
Rachel
example.
Maddow turning up on the TV saying, if you take this vaccine, you're not going to get it, when it hadn't been clinically trialed for transmission. You have to listen.
Wait.
Do you think you can improve America by determinedly and avowedly condemning Fox News without acknowledging that you're participating in the same game? Did you not just listen to Bernie Sanders, someone who plainly, legitimately believes in this country and believes it's possible to change, but is bound by corruption, is bound by the lobbying system? Surely it's clear to you, Bill, as one of the great pundits and experts and comic voices, that systemic change is required. Money has to be taken out of politics. We need new political systems that genuinely represent ordinary Americans so that we can overcome cultural differences. And bickering about which propagandist network is the worst is not going to save a single American life, not improve the life of a single American child, not going to improve America's standing in the world, and the world needs a strong America. I'll tell you that. So you have an obligation, a duty, not to condemn these people.
Yes. Say what you want about Russell. I mean, I really do like him. And I know that there's people who think it's a grift, whatever. I don't know. But that was brilliant.
And
it just was.
Here's a perfect example of what I noticed from the very beginning when the pandemic was happening. And Joe Rogan said that he had used ivermectin as a means of dealing immediately without getting the vaccine, just dealing immediately with ivermectin. This was before, he said he used it before the vaccine had even existed. And what MSNBC in particular was going around saying is that you're taking horse dewormer, which we all know is not true. There are two kinds of ivermectin. There's one for humans and one for animals. And the fact that they were repeating this lie over and over again, saying that they're taking horse dewormer and people are killing themselves as a result of it. This gets back to the argument that we were just talking about with Maybe about how there are outliers within the trans community that give trans people a bad name. Well, guess what? There's going to be people within the ivermectin community that are going to give people.
You've got to stop swinging that hand
honestly
in my face.
using the ivermectin. I really wish you wouldn't do
You
that.
keep doing that to my
Ivermectin
face.
the wrong way. Were there people that used ivermectin that was horse dewormer? Yes, I'm sure there were a few that got their hands on it out of I don't know how many people, hundreds of thousands, if not millions.
Some kids get under the sink and get into the bleach. We don't ban the bleach.
What you want to do is you want to take the bleach and
some of it is Darwinism. I'm sorry. Some of that is Darwinism.
Hydrochloroquine.
If you're listening to somebody and taking horse dewormer, that's Darwinism to me. If that doesn't work out, it just is.
So that type of rhetoric is just one example. Yeah. That's just one example. There are many examples of things that MSNBC has done over the years.
Russiagate, anybody?
Russiagate, Russia. And all the while creating a frenzy amongst the populace so that way NATO versus Russia could become a real thing. And we're this close to World War III, which is really,
Thanks
really
for that,
bad.
Rachel Maddow.
Really bad. And of course, as you've often said, you cannot build your moats wide enough if you think you're going to stop what's going to happen if the people eventually crack and say, we're not taking this anymore. Because that's kind of where we're heading. We're heading in that direction right now. And there were other things that he talked about. And I happen to believe that one of the things that inspired Russell to do and say what he said was because of the fact that Bernie was on the show that night and was laying down the law with Bill Maher about how naive he is regarding economics.
And from my understanding and from what I saw a clip of, because again, I don't watch Bill Maher, but apparently Bernie's position and explanation on student loan forgiveness, that Bill Maher actually kind of got that. Which is interesting.
Absolutely.
He changed his position.
And if you're going to have student debt cancellation in the United States, it only makes sense to do it if you're going to have tuition-free public college and trade schools.
Otherwise, why are you paying it?
It's just going to repeat itself all over again.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.